Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Dallas Fan TV, man. Back at you with a video. Like the content of this video, go and smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go ahead, subscribe, man. Look, so Ravens versus Chargers game preview, man. A big Sunday night football primetime game for the Ravens. So you know we gotta talk about everything going on in the game. So let's get right into it, man. I ain't wasting any time with it. Injury report for both sides. Ravens have a lot of guys listed on the injury report. All right. Now, a lot of these guys I do expect to play, but you know we'll get into it. Okay, so Rashad Bateman, I had NID here. He has no injury designation. All right, so he should be good to go. Odell Beckham Jr. questionable. He said he expects to play. Zay Flowers questionable. Zay Flowers has had an interesting week when it comes to injuries. He's gone from limited to DNP to then back to practicing again. So he said he expects to play. So we'll see. Hopefully we see Zay Flowers out there. Marlon Humphrey questionable. He returned to practice this week. Charlie Kohler, questionable. This is interesting, obviously, because, with the injury to Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kohler are two backups who are now going to be seeing more time on the field. So if Charlie Kohler happens to miss this game, he's missing a great opportunity to be out there. So hopefully, he can play as well. Ronnie Stanley, questionable. I think I saw from Jeff Zrebeck, he tweeted out that Ronnie Stanley said he expects to play tomorrow. So I'll take his word on that, and hopefully we see him out there. And then lastly, Pepe Williams, questionable. Pepe Williams just came back. He hasn't played a game yet this year. We'll see if they put him out there tomorrow. But as of right now, he just listed as questionable. We'll see what happens. All right. Now on the other side for the Chargers, tight end Gerald Everett, questionable. Wide receiver Jalen Guyton, questionable. And superstar defensive end Joey Bosa went on IR, I believe, last week in that game versus the Packers. I believe he has they call it a right foot sprain right now, so he's going to miss the next 4 games at least. So that's a big blow for this Chargers defense. All right. Now, Chargers last 3 games. Let's talk about it. A 27-6 win versus the Jets, a 41-38 loss versus the Lions, and a 23-20 loss versus the Packers. The Lions game, I watched the game, incredible game, shootout. Nagasaki really could have stopped most of the game. In the Packers game, honestly, their pass catchers kind of let Justin Herbert down. Quentin Johnston had a big one over the top that could have at least tied the game, got him in field goal range. And Keenan Allen, surprisingly, had 2-3 drops in that game. So they could have easily won that game, but they didn't. All right. Chargers defense, right? They are allowing 393 yards a game. That's 31st in the NFL. All right. Excuse me. But only allowing a 35% third down conversion rate, which is very interesting. You would think you allowed as many yards that you would, not getting that many stops on third downs. But, that could have to do with their pass rush, getting after the quarterback at the same time. So they do have a pretty good pass rush as well. All right. So passing defense, 291 yards a game, dead last in the NFL. That's what they're allowing right now. 68% completion percentage for 25th. But they are averaging 3.4 sacks a game, which is 5th in the NFL. So that's how you get that third down stop rate if you could get after the quarterback, right? But now, as I mentioned earlier, Joey Bosa is out. So that's going to take a big chunk out of their pass rush, right? And they still have Khalil Mack and other guys like that, but Joey Bosa is the main horse on that defensive line, right? That's the main guy. All right. Rushing yards, 102 yards a game for 12th in the NFL. So not bad, kind of middle of the package. The Ravens can get after the Chargers defense. All right, they should be able to get after the Chargers defense. There's nothing spectacular, even really that good about this Chargers defense. So this is a game where the Ravens offense can really carry the team throughout this one. We'll see if they do it though. All right. Chargers offense, right? 25.9 points per game, 8th in the NFL. 301 yards a game. All right, sorry about that, y'all. 354.3 yards a game for 11th in the NFL. They have a 43% third down conversion rate for 9th, and they are 66% in the red zone touchdown percentage for 2nd in the NFL. So a very, very efficient offense when they get down to the red zone. They're scoring points when they get down. They're scoring touchdowns when they get down there. So that's something that the Ravens have to be ready for and prepared for. All right, the Chargers team gets down close, they're looking to score touchdowns. All right, so all right, let's keep it rolling, man. Sorry, hold on. All right, passing offense, 248 yards a game for ninth in the NFL on 36 attempts at eighth in the NFL, only allowing 2.2 sacks a game. A lot of that has to do with Justin Herbert and his ability to escape pressure, but also, you got to get credit to offensive line when you can. For ninth, rushing offense, 105 yards a game for 18th on 26 attempts a game for 18th as well. All right, so now that's what the Chargers got as far as offense, defense. That's their numbers. Now, my opinion on how the Ravens could win this game, the keys to the game, X factors, and things like that. So for me, the first key to the game for the Ravens on offense is having an efficient passing game. Right. This Chargers team has shown that they can't really. They're not really stopping much when it comes to passing the ball from opposing teams. Jordan Love had a great game versus them. Jared Goff had a great game versus them. It's the yards are there if you can take advantage of it, right? In the last couple of games, I looked at the last three. Only people that really stopped, obviously, is the Jets, right? And the Jets, they stopped themselves on offense. They don't have a quarterback on offense. So with the Ravens, with Lamar Jackson, that's the big thing. Can you have an efficient passing game, take advantage of the shots that are there, and move the ball forward effectively, right? Now, this kind of leads into the second point I have right here, which is spread the ball around, okay? With Mark Andrews not being there, I think this is going to force Lamar Jackson more into like a point guard kind of thing, right? And not saying that Lamar Jackson really stared down Mark Andrews every single time down the field. I'm not saying that at all. But we know that when it comes to big plays in the game, when it comes to a gotta have it kind of moment, we know the ball was more than likely trying to go to Mark Andrews, right? Now Lamar is going to have to, really spread the ball around and having hopefully these guys can step up and fill that role. So your Isaiah Likely's, your Charlie Kohler if he ends up playing, and then obviously the other receivers on the field. Okay, so Rashad Bateman getting more targets. Nelson Aguilar has played really well when given his opportunities throughout the season. So those kind of guys stepping up, playing a bigger role in the offense, right? Making this passing game a more complete, full passing game where it's not just relying on Zay Flowers and it's not just relying on Mark Andrews, right? So obviously Mark Andrews is out, but the point being where it has more guys that the pass game can rely on to be consistent parts of it. And that right there is how the Ravens become not only just a better team, but also win this game where the Chargers can't focus in on, hey, look, we stopped this guy, we stopped the offense, right? I think that's, we try to look for blessings in the sky, silver linings, things like that. I think this might be one of those things where you could say, well, hey, look, this is going to force other guys to step up. It's going to force, them to really show Lamar Jackson, hey, look, you can trust me. I'm going to be open out here on the field, okay? So, keys to the game to the Ravens defense, all right? So, number one is you have to limit the Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen connection, all right? I looked this up and I couldn't believe it. Keenan Allen has 83 catches so far this year, all right? So, we're talking about through, 10, 11 games. He's averaging about 7, 8 catches a game, right? The next closest Charger has 24 catches. So, we're talking about a catch gap of almost 60 plus, right? So, 59, right? So, Justin Herbert's main target is very obviously Keenan Allen. The Ravens have to make a concerted effort to say, look, this is the main guy we taking off the board, all right? If somebody else beats us, it is what it is. Now, a lot of this has to do with the Chargers have dealt with some injuries. So I mentioned guys like Jalen Guyton, they missed a couple of games. Mike Williams, who was a big-time receiver for them, has missed a lot of the season, honestly. He got hurt early on in this year. So, so Chargers have played 10 games. They're 4-6. So, we're talking about eight catches a game for Keenan Allen. All right, but anyway, and also Eckler, I believe, is the guy who was second. He's only played like 7 games this year, right? So, out of their 10. All right, so a lot of it has to do with injuries, unproven talent, things like that. But still, this gap is huge. So, the Ravens can stop this connection between Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. That's the way you make the Chargers uncomfortable. That's the way that you can really put the screws to them. All right. So, all right. Now, the second one for the defense is getting Justin Herbert to the ground. Right. Now, if you happen to watch any Chargers games, right? Justin Herbert, big guy, right? 6'6", I believe 250 plus, somewhere around that kind of range, right? He's incredibly difficult to get to the ground. All right. Not only is he that big, he's also fairly mobile for his size, right? He can move around. He's not a statue back there, right? Most QBs in this modern day aren't really statues, obviously, but Justin Herbert is no different, okay? So he can move around. He can create outside the pocket. This kind of reminds me of I was watching Chase Daniel and I think he had Drew Brees with him, right? They were doing a breakdown of Justin Herbert and his game versus the Lions, right? And they kind of made a great comparison to him, where it's like he's kind of like a modern day Ben Roethlisberger, right? Now, Ravens fans, if we know anything about how it was getting Big Ben to the ground, prepare for that in this kind of game, right? Justin Herbert can shake off your edge rushers because he's practically the same size as those guys, all right? So the Ravens have to get Justin Herbert to the ground. Any kind of plays where he's able to extend and throw a laser down the field is going to be a negative play for the defense. All right, so to me, those are the main two factors for the Ravens getting the victory. All right, limiting that Keenan Allen connection to Justin Herbert, excuse me, and getting Herbert to the ground. Right, you do those two things, the Ravens should win this game. Right. All right. X factors. Okay. The one I have right here, the main one I have is making Justin Herbert uncomfortable. Right now, the Ravens get some of the most sacks in the NFL. We know they're at the top of the league in sacks per game. Right. I just mentioned that the Chargers only allow about 2 sacks a game, which is pretty good right now for the NFL. Okay. So the Ravens have to find a way to make Justin Herbert uncomfortable. All right, that's going to be the main thing. If they can do that, get him off his spot, and actually bring him to the ground, as I mentioned previously, that's how the Ravens win this game. Because the Chargers defense, I don't see them putting up much of an effort to stop the Ravens right now, because that just hasn't what they've been doing this entire year, right? Then you couple that with the fact that they lost Joey Bosa, especially for this game, but like the next 4 games at the very least. I don't see how they can stop the Ravens without the Ravens, unless the Ravens stop themselves, right? So for me, the defense make Justin Herbert uncomfortable. The Ravens are the better team, the superior team, and they should win this football game, right? The Ravens have to show up and beat teams that they are better than. The Ravens are better than this Chargers team. They need to win this game, right? The Ravens have high aspirations, right? The number 1 seed in the AFC is up there for grabs. You must win these kind of games. It is what it is, right? This game is not going to be a pushover or easy, anything like that, but this is the game the Ravens need to win. Simple as that, all right? So that's the preview. I want to give the score prediction real quick. I think the Ravens are going to win this game by multiple possessions. That's just how I'm feeling about this game. So I'm going to go 34-23 Ravens to win this game. This Chargers team, like I said, not a pushover, but the Ravens are the superior team, okay? The Ravens have scored 30-plus points, and I think in their last 4 or 5 straight games. I don't expect to see that stop now, all right? So that's kind of what I'm expecting to see from this game. Give me your thoughts, predictions, everything like that in the comments, and I'll talk about it in there, man. It's Gabriel. This is on the Fan TV. I'm out.